Alright, what's good everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today we're gonna do something very different. So usually I send you guys, chart analysis with every information that you guys need to know about the levels that I'm interested in either buying or selling the market. So this week I'm actually planning to do something very different. So I'm actually gonna be planning to give you guys video analysis probably 2 times a week, which is gonna be Monday and Wednesday, and then Tuesday, Thursdays, and the other rest of the day I'm gonna send you guys, chart analysis so you guys can obviously be on top of the markets. So of course we're gonna be only breaking down the pairs that I trade, which is US30 and gold. GJ is something very different. The only reason why I really don't send analysis with GJ is because I only scalp trade GJ. It's something that happens very quick. So I usually just focus this with the VIP member. This week I'm looking at GBP USD. Gonna test out this pair as well to see if I can my strategy also work with GBP USD. Gonna be testing it out, but mostly just focus on these pairs over here. So we're gonna start with this breakdown with gold, and then we're gonna work ourselves down with US30. So since we're starting a new week, new month actually, since we are February, is the second month of 2024, which is right over here. So we're in February. We're gonna see how this month goes. Last month we did have a very nice month to start off the year, and then we're in a new month. So we're gonna see how this month ends up going. So going into gold, right, we're going to start off with the top-down analysis of the monthly time frame. Now on the monthly time frame, I just want you guys to focus on a few things, nothing very special. But notice how gold is still bullish, right? We're still overall bullish with the market. On the monthly time frame, we did come back into the all-time highs that price has ever made, which was around 2063. Notice how this monthly candle, which is January, notice how price action did reject it and formed a monthly resistance. This month, you guys can see that at the beginning of this month, price has come into this area. We have rejected it and just pretty much trading under it. The monthly wick from this candle over here just came back and retested another zone that is off the weekly time frame, which is pretty much, this is the lowest that price has ever come, right, which is this monthly lows right over here, or the monthly wick. You can go down into the weekly time frame, and you can see that in the past it was an area of resistance, right? It's pretty much this area of resistance which price is holding it above as support. The weekly time frame, we did close a bullish candle. Wouldn't really say that it's completely bullish, since we do have a lot of wick rejection towards the upside, which is actually going to be this major resistance zone, which is going to be around the 2062, which I'm gonna get into in a bit. But notice how the daily, we did close a bullish engulfing. We're holding above the support, but obviously we have some wick rejection towards a major resistance, which is a level that we have to be very careful about. So let's go back down into the daily time frame. So the daily time frame, same thing. What I really say, the daily is kind of like, really don't like the structure how is it going right now. Just notice how, let me just delete this. Notice how price every time that comes into this 2062, it looks better in the 4-hour, I believe. So let me see if you guys can get a better picture. All right, let's just work it from here. So notice that, whenever price comes into 2060, we reject it. So it's been 3 times that price has come into this area. The first week of January, price came, rejection. Then we come the second week of January, rejection. We come back again this week, which was last week actually. We did see another rejection. So price just pretty much been rejected in 2060, trading under the 2060, which kind of makes the market still bearish, right? I wouldn't really say the market's overall bullish off the 4-hour yet, since price, we keep rejecting off this very major resistance. So what I was going to explain on the daily was actually that on the daily time frame, this was a range that was pretty much last week, I believe. So was it last week or the week before? Let me make sure, because I do pay attention to these calendars a lot. So this was on the week, so that was second week, I believe, which was right here. January 22nd, there was pretty much a range here that price was actually fading to break above, right? So this was the range from the third week of January, and then comes the fourth week of January, which is pretty much here. Then we start breaking above, which last week we started kind of pushing to the upside, and we finally come into this area of resistance. So this area, the reason why it's very important for me is because this is an area of resistance which price has actually not been holding it as support. So we've been holding this area as support for the past couple of days, I believe they started. So it was actually on Tuesday that price came and formed that support, and then every time that price will break above, come back down, we just hold this area as a very strong support. So we came on Tuesday, rejected it on Wednesday, came back on Thursday with same thing, rejected it, and then on Friday we came back at this zone and we have rejected it. This is the 2 levels that you guys want to be interested at. We're going to be looking at the 2030, and we're also going to be looking at the 2047. So let me just adjust this a little bit. All right, so something like this would be interesting. Let's go into the 1 hour. All right, so something like that. So pretty much The reason why these are two levels that I would be interested is because one, this is an area of support that we're holding very strong, right? Price has been holding it very strong. And two over here, which is 2047, because notice how on Friday, right? We did have NFP on Friday. This move over here was on Thursday. That price did come into this major resistance, and once again we rejected, right? So the idea for me to continue the buy position on Friday was for price to come back into the 2047, which is this area of resistance. Let me see what is in the past. It was pretty much resistance, support, resistance, right? So the idea was for me to come back into this area of resistance, retest obviously resistance, retest the EMA, and see if price can hold this area as support so that we can continue buying the market, right? So this was the idea for me on Friday if I was interested in buying the market, to obviously continue breaking above here, possibly could have broken above the 2060 to continue the highs, right? But notice how on Friday we had NFP news that price end up breaking under. We come back into our major support, which is 2031, we can say, and from there on price just been bouncing, right? Now what I will be interested for these next couple of days, I want to see if price can give us a pullback into the 2047. So if we do actually get a pullback into the 2047, I'm going to see if price can actually remain itself under. If it remains itself under, this will be an area where I'll be definitely interested in looking for sales back down into the major support, which is going to be 2031. Now, if from here price comes down into 2031, we start breaking under, obviously the best bet is to wait for price to break and retest under the 2031 so that we can definitely continue selling back down. Obviously there is some targets here that you guys want to definitely target, but my main target for this week will be all the way down to 2003, right? So obviously before we even get down there, price actually has to start breaking under all of these targets. For example, this can be your first target, and then after that target breaks, you got more target here and then another target right there. So that's gonna be my idea. Now let's say that from this next couple of days, from here price comes into 2047, we end up breaking above it and we end up closing above it, right? Obviously you guys want to wait for the pullback to see that this area of resistance can actually hold that support. We get the EMA is going to start crossing over, pretty much holding it as support or trading it as a support, and from there on we can also start looking for buys back into 2060, which is our major resistance. Now once price comes in major resistance, right, 2060, we have to be very careful again, because notice how it's been rejecting for these past entire weeks, right? So ideally will be if price can actually come in 2060 and actually break above 2060, just simply I will wait for an hour close, right? The reason why an H1 close, because notice how this H1 we come into this area but we just wait rejection. Same thing over here, we just rejection, and same thing over here, we rejected. So I'd rather wait to see a 1 hour candle close above it, and then obviously you guys want to go down into the lower time frame and just wait for those minor pullbacks to see if price can actually remain itself above. If it does remain itself above, then we can definitely start buying the market. Overall bigger picture, if price can actually maintain above it, my hope long-term take profit will be above the 2087, which is obviously our major resistance or the previous all-time highs. But actually before we end up getting there, we got targets to level down over here. So that's going to be for gold. Now let's start off with US30. All right, so now looking at US30. So US30 is going to be a very simple breakdown, since obviously US30 has been extremely bullish. The breakdown that I want to give you guys with US30 is going to be off the 4-hour time frame. Literally just look at the 4-hour time frame. You guys can see the price action structure literally looks perfect, right? So we're going to actually do it from the 1-hour time frame. So obviously US30 has been extremely bullish for these past months, literally breaking above all of these previous all-time highs and creating new all-time highs. So finally has reached its all-time highs, which is going to be around this level at 38,769. We can say 38,770, 38,760, right? So price has finally created a new all-time highs. This was on Friday, right? On Friday we created this level, literally the late session. Friday we created this major resistance over here, right? Previous on the new all-time highs, and we broke above this previous all-time highs, right? So just check this out, guys. This is literally how simple it's going to be to trade US30 this week. So I want you guys to focus on this part right over here. What happened right here? Check this out. What happened in this price structure over here? We have previous all-time highs. Price breaks above it and creates a higher low. This is previous resistance, right? Go down into lower time frame. What happens over here? This is resistance. Price breaks above it, pullbacks, hold it as support, and then pushes back into the upside, right? So we just simply creating higher highs and higher lows. Now we go down into the 1-hour time frame. What is going on right over here? price broke above this area of resistance and we're now getting the pullback into this area, right? So it's obviously just going along with the trend, along with the pattern. So since we broke above this area of resistance, right, the idea is to obviously get the pullback into this area to see if price can remain itself above, right? So it's just simply going along with the trend at this point, since price has been extremely bullish. Now, when price comes into this area, obviously you guys want to wait for two things, which is a rejection and a bullish confirmation to enter a trade. A bullish confirmation can either be a bullish pattern or a bullish candle, right? So ideally is to see price come into this area. If we do see that price actually rejects this area and remain itself above, this will create some good buying opportunity to buy the market back into this all-time highs. Obviously, if this all-time highs continues to break above, we can definitely continue breaking above and start buying the market again, right? Now, the only risky thing about price breaking above all-time high is that if you guys go into the monthly time frame and you look left, what is right here? Obviously there's nothing, right? So it's kind of risky to know where the market is going to be going since we don't have previous price point. So the way that I've been trading when price breaks above all-time highs, usually when price already goes into my 1% of profit, I usually just go break even, because you don't really know if price is going to keep pushing up. Since we don't have previous price point, price can just go up, hit your 1%, and from there we can start bleeding, right? So ideally it's obviously to secure 1% and then just leave runners if price starts breaking above all-time highs. So that's what I'm gonna be looking at with US30, waiting for the pullback into this area to see if price can remain itself above. If it does remain itself above, I'm looking for buys back into this highs over here. This highs breaks above, obviously we're gonna create new all-time highs if price can remain itself above. Now, simple was the opposite. If price doesn't reject, closes under, simply just react and adapt, meaning that wait for the pullback into this area, see if this area of resistance can hold as resistance. The EMA is going to be trading it above it, holding it as resistance as well, and then we can start looking to sell back into this area of support, right, which is the support that we formed on Friday. This was a play that I even sent you guys in the free Telegram, right? I literally sent you guys this in the free Telegram, which was literally right this right over here. So check this out. Told you guys that I'll be interested in waiting for the pullback into the 38,330. What is this? 38,330, right? Notice how I waited for price to pull back into this area to see if price can remain itself above, to literally just retest this resistance to see if price can continue breaking above. What happened over here? This was the before, same thing over here. This was the US30 as well. Price came into this area. Check this out. We maintained above it and boom, we got to push it back into the upside, right? But that's not the point at the moment, but that was actually a very beautiful trade. But anyways, if price doesn't remain itself above, we're looking for break and retest under. Price can hold as resistance. We're definitely going to sell right here. Same thing over here. If price continues to break under this level, we can just wait for the break and retest, and then we can target all the way down over here if obviously the bearish volume continues to hold. So it's going to be my main target for this week if obviously these two levels continue to break under. Same thing over here. If this area over here also breaks under, we have more targets. We have more price point over here to target, which my main target is actually going to be at 37,800 if price obviously managed to break under these three price points over here. So very simple, nothing complicated. That's going to be all for this breakdown. I'm going to send you guys the analysis tomorrow as well, like the chart analysis, so you guys can be on top of that as well. But other than that, guys, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.